Hey guys, Bicebump here, bringing you a quick video to talk about some feedback related to the new tier sets for 9.2. Just today we had the PTR hitting and obviously jumped on and had a look to see whether or not we can also answer all the questions I previously had about the tier sets. Before we go into that, just a quick reminder, here are the two tier sets. We have the Frost, the fact that you get 8% crit during Remorse's Winter. The 4 Ps is that every time you use a Killing Machine proc, you also send a Glacial Advance through the target. For Unholy, we have that every 5th Soul Reaper or Scourge Strike gives you a Soul Reaper on a target, gives your minion, your usual pet, a attack speed buff, and then you also get, whenever you trigger the execute effect, you summon an Army of the Dead Ghoul. Anyway, let's talk about the Frost set. So having a look at the implementation, it kind of works exactly as you would expect. It doesn't work with Nightfade Cleave, unfortunately. You could imagine that, hitting 2 targets with 2 Killing Machine Obliterate would then proc 2 Glacial Advances. That doesn't work, so we don't have any special overpowered things going on there. It doesn't proc off itself with Obliteration. You can imagine in your Obliteration, you hit your Obliterate with a Killing Machine, that triggers a Glacial Advance, which usually gives you another Killing Machine, right? But since it's not the spell itself, it seems like that doesn't work. It does apply Race Rise, which is great news, because that makes this set so good, especially for 2-handers, going to gain a lot of value from another Rune Forge. Unfortunately, for dual wield, there isn't a good third option for a Rune Forge, so unless they make Stone Skin Gargle a one-handed Rune Enchant, please do that. We're going to use some regular enchants. Like, that just can't happen, right? A Death Knight not using a Rune Forge would just be extremely silly. So hopefully they sort that out. Finally, when you do proc your Killer Machine, the Glacial Advance just fires straight out from where you're looking. So it's not like towards your target, it's just where you're looking. So you're going to have to pay attention where you're aiming at all times. Overall, implementation looks exactly as we thought it was going to be. There's no overpowered shenanigans, and I think it's going to be very powerful. There's like a 2k DPS increase on single target, and in AoE, man, it's going to do so much damage. Obliteration, Killing Machine, Glacial Advance, Killing Machine, Glacial Advance, it's going to do a ton of AoE damage. Very excited for it. Now, Unholy, it falls short with implementation. We only get a 15-second duration ghoul. Last time I checked, Army of the Dead gave you 30-second ghouls, but it seems like this ghoul is an Apocalypse ghoul. So that is obviously not very nice, and it takes away a lot of value from the 4 Ps. The ghouls can spawn more than 2 at a time, but since it's so short duration, you can't really keep them up, because even though you're getting Soul Reapers manually and from the 2 set, it doesn't quite work. We also have that the debuffs, they can overlap. So if you trigger a Soul Reaper from the 2 Ps and then hit the Soul Reaper manually, the debuff pandemics, so it goes longer, but you still get both to execute procs. It's a bit funky. So, you hit Soul Reaper manually, you get it from the proc, you get a long Soul Reaper duration, but you will have 2 instances of the proc. You get 2 ghouls, 2 damage instances. It's kind of fine. However, it doesn't seem to quite work all the time. I tried it a couple of times where I just hit Soul Reaper manually, and then I had loads of Clawing Shadows going out. And the reality was that, I had something like 5 or 6 casts of Soul Reaper, and then I had 1 less actual proc of the execute effect. So they obviously try to make it work, but it doesn't quite get there all the way. So we're going to have to hope that they can sort that out in the end. Let's see. Another thing, it doesn't work with Soul Reaper sniping. So if you put Soul Reaper on a mob and it dies, that effect that gives you Rune Corruption doesn't trigger the ghoul spawn. So there's absolutely 0 value of this tier set in AoE. You can't even, use Soul Reaper on mobs that die to get some extra ghouls. It doesn't work at all. Unfortunate. I would love to see that it works, because that would bring in some interesting gameplay, especially in AoE scenarios. When you desummon your ghoul, it doesn't trigger Megas of Dead. That was kind of wishful thinking, but it has happened in the past. If you remember in, was it in BFA? Yeah. You will have the Vision of Perfection when you triggered your Apocalypse, you got 2 ghouls and a Magus, so that would be very nice if that worked. Hopefully implement it, because that would be nice. Finally, it doesn't work with Deafening K Cleave. You can imagine you put down Deafening K, you hit Scourge Strike, it hits 4 targets, that would count towards 4 kind of buffs towards the 5th when you trigger Soul Reaper. It does only just per cast, so it doesn't work. Overall, if you look at how we rank our different implementations, this is like a 1k DPS upgrade. Best case scenario would have been 5k DPS upgrade. 1k isn't that much, especially for something that only works in pure single target and only works in the execute phase. So my feedback would be to please increase the ghoul duration to at least 30 seconds. Do make it work on Soul Reaper execute. Do consider making the Magus spawn. That would be very cool and very nice. And also, do remember, the Unholy DK as well as the Frost DK will gain extremely little from our Covenant legendaries. So we're going to have loads of specs out there that they get a solid tier set, and then they also get a very good Covenant specific legendary. And they're going to see a lot bigger DPS increase than us if we get like a mediocre pure single target, only works in execute. Frost is still kind of fine. I think that's going to be good, even if we don't get the best Covenant legendaries, but still. Anyway, that was it. Do leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think about the tier sets. If you tried them out on PTR, how do they feel to you? Up for downvote. Do consider subscribing. Ping me on the Lackluster Discord if you have any questions. And thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more content. Thank you.